Hey, Lewis. How you doing, my friend? Lewis Rossman out there, sitting in front of your little station, soldering motherboards and all that. How's work going today? How's work going today? Is it nice weather there in Brooklyn? Is it nice weather there in New York? Nice and balmy? I just wanted to show you where I'm going to be doing my work today. I just want to say, hey, you know, this is where you too could be shooting videos. But I know how much cooler you are. You're going to be sitting there in your little windowless office, sitting there huffing solder fumes. And I understand. I just wanted to show you what your life could be like if you were a content creator. But I know you don't want to be a content creator, so I wouldn't try to force it on you. But I just want to show you what the possibilities in the world could be like. Like this right here, literally, in fact, could be your office. You could be at a place like this, literally making money as you put your feet in the water. Like, look at this. Hey, Rod. Hey, Lewis. I just want to show you something. You know the most amazing thing? You know the most amazing trick I'm going to show you as a technology professional? I'm going to show you this. Okay, see, these are feet. And that's some nice warm water. So I'm going to show you like this amazing trick. This is freaking phenomenal. You know what is so cool right now? This is going to blow your mind. Look at this. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that feels good. Now you're probably sitting there and you're like, well, Eli, I don't understand what the trick is. Here, the trick is, the real magic is right now I'm earning money. Right now, YouTube is dumping money into my bank account as I sit here. If that is not the greatest magic trick in the world, I just don't know what is. I'm just saying, Lewis. I'm just saying. I know you want to sit there and you want to do real man computer work. But I'm just saying, if you ever want to change your mind, I say right now, I'm making money. Sorry. You guys know I had to do it. You know I had to do it. Especially after the way the beginning of this trip went. Oh my God, the way the beginning of this trip went. It almost made it look like Lewis had a good idea staying at home. But now it's going very well. Very happy. I'm not even sure how many days we've been here now. So we got here one day. So we had like one day, and then we had a down day, and then we had 2 temple days. And then we had another down day, and then today was a temple day. So I guess that's more or less. We've been here either 5.5 or 6 days at this point. So tomorrow we're gonna go ATVing. We're gonna take ATVs out into Cambodia. That should be fucking awesome. Again, getting paid to take ATVs out into Cambodia. You see how this is working here? And then the day after that, we're gonna do some more temples, because there is a shocking amount of temples. That's one thing we're gonna be talking about in this video. There's a shocking amount of temples around here. And then once we've done that, on Monday, we take off for Bangkok. So we're gonna take Air Asia from Siem Reap to Bangkok. It'll be a 1-hour flight. With no crap in the middle. It's nice. The nice thing about flying is nobody can screw you at the border. It's not like you're up, 30,000 feet in the air and all of a sudden they go, oh look, we're at the Cambodian border. Everybody's got to get out and get screwed. So we're gonna fly into Thailand on Monday. Then we'll be in Thailand for a few days, and then we're flying out of Thailand basically 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, and then we'll be home by the end of the week. Then really, so we decided to do that. Like I say, we've been looking around. Really like Cambodia. Really like Cambodia. But how should I put this? Really like Siem Reap. And really like the Cambodians. But I didn't really have much of a plan for Cambodia. Yeah, there really was no plan for Cambodia. I didn't have a great plan for Thailand. But I had a plan for Thailand. Again, Bangkok, Ayutthaya, Sukhothai, up to Chiang Mai, spend a week or so in Chiang Mai, up to Chiang Rai, spend a week or so in Chiang Rai, bounce over here to where we are now, spend a week or so here, and then bounce off to the beaches for a week. But as I've said, I've already been to Thailand, so Thailand's not a huge thing for me, and then my wife just isn't overly thrilled about Thailand. And Thailand's a bit of a pain in the ass. On top of literally the worst heat wave in 65 years. So we're just thinking, you know what, we're gonna call it a day. We're gonna leave on a good note, and then go back to Maryland so that we can plan the next trip in the travel trailer. So basically planning that. So we'll go up and spend a couple of weeks in the Adirondacks, spend a couple of weeks in Acadia National Park, phenomenal national park, up in Maine, I think it is, and then probably spend a couple of weeks up in Canada, and then come back down. So that'll be like a month and a half trip there, and then keep going through. So again, basically, you know, that's the whole thing you have to decide in life, you know, whether to muscle through or not. The question is as I say with everything, it's what are your options? What are your options? Everybody's like, Eli, what should I do? It's like, well, what are your options? Like, I don't have an option. I have one option. It's like, if you have one option, you do that one thing, right? So for me, if I need to go out and adventure and do all that kind of stuff, and the only thing I could do was this, then I would probably muscle through. Muscle through! But, you know, looking at it, literally, we'll go back home, we'll spend 2 or 3 weeks cleaning everything up to go on a travel trailer. You know, again, I have an option. It's, okay, do I continue to stay here, or do I go back onto a different adventure? So I think I'll go off back on the different adventure. So I like Cambodia here. Cambodia is really nice. The people are really nice. All that kind of stuff. The prices, especially in Siem Reap, are a lot higher than I was expecting to pay in general. And then the issue is Cambodia is really a dirt poor country, like really a dirt poor country. So one of my questions is, since I didn't do a lot of preparation work for Cambodia, is as we travel around Cambodia, are the other places really going to be like Siem Reap? You know, is Cambodia awesome or is Siem Reap awesome? So it's like, not so sure how that's gonna get answered. So you know what? I have options, so I'm going to go, and yeah, we're gonna go back. Gonna go back. So that's a good thing. So that is the overall plan right there, and I think I'm pretty happy with it. Again, like I say, Thailand didn't go to plan. But it also hasn't been horrible. I mean, like, you really got to think about it. You know, so we spent 4 days in Bangkok, which isn't a bad thing. Again, you saw the video from Bangkok, and we went to see the palace, we went to see Wat Pho, we went to all those places. So I mean, 4 days in Bangkok's a nice thing. And then we went to 3 days in Ayutthaya, and you saw the pictures of Ayutthaya. Ayutthaya is pretty damn nice. Then we went down to 4 days in Pattaya. And again, 4 days, I mean, Pattaya, again, is also not a bad little town, not a bad place. It's just more of, like I say, more like South Beach, more like a normal tourist destination. But again, not a bad place. And then we came over here to Angkor Wat, Siem Reap, for, I'm gonna be here like 9 days or something like that. And this definitely isn't a bad thing. So it's kind of one of those things like, we've done what we know we want to do, and looking forward, there's just too many things like on the horizon. You're like, right? So, you know, as I would say, like, how many people in life? I mean, like, it's like, oh, Eli, you're wimping out. It's like, well, or, you know, I mean, how many people in life can just fly off to Asia for 3 weeks, right? You know, we're gonna talk about that in a different video. It's all like how you frame things. If you frame the story as, we went to Southeast Asia for 3 weeks and did X, Y, or Z, then we've had basically a pretty amazing time. I mean, I had a weird little time in the hospital, and we kind of got screwed at the Cambodian border, but otherwise it's been a pretty good time. So if you frame it that way, it seems like we've been a success and things have been great. If you frame it the way of, we were supposed to be there for 6 weeks, and then X, Y, or Z happened, and then we decided to leave, then that makes it framed as if we failed. Right? And so again, one of the things you have to think about in life whenever you're telling stories is to realize, literally, whether you come out the hero, the villain, or the victim, really is simply how you frame the story. Again, I frame my stories because I believe in empowerment versus aggrandizement. I hope you guys think I'm a little cool. Because if you don't think I'm a little cool, it's going to be a real pain in the ass to get sponsors. But, you know what I'm saying. What do you think? I'm a little cool. But the point here isn't to make me look awesome and great. The point is to show all of these little things and to show all these little problems so that you folks can make decisions in the future. Again, if you came to Thailand and you ran into the same issues that we were having, would you stay or would you go? And I think the valuable thing here is by explaining things to you folks about what I'm doing, then it feels okay to leave. Again, that's one of the biggest problems in life with most people when they have issues. I remember one of my instructors, who's a long-term detective, and he was talking about all the victims he'd ever known. And victims of bad stuff, bad stuff, right? And one of the things he said, like 90% of all the victims that he ever dealt with they said, you know, right before I got into that situation, I knew something bad was gonna happen. I knew it was a bad situation. He said that like 90%. So okay, 10% of the people just got beat on the side of the head, didn't know what was coming. Somebody came up behind them and just clocked them, right? 10%. 1 out of 10, that happened to. He said the other 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, they looked around, they looked at the situation, they said, this isn't gonna go well. And yet they stayed in the situation. They kept going down that road. And he's like, son of a bitch. If you had just gone home, right? Because I mean, that's the whole thing. Like I say, when you think about like martial arts and self-defense and all this, how not to be a victim. Again, and I know how to hurt people. I can hurt people, right? But that, you know, I remember that with my my executive protection instructors. Because executive protection, basically bodyguard work, the whole thing is how to protect the principal. So the principal is you are protecting somebody, which is a really curious thing to do with the brain. You're in a dangerous situation and you're not primarily worried about your protection, you're worried about the protection of the person behind you. And so one of the things they taught us is, you know, we did weapons training and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things they taught us is they said, look, we're gonna teach you weapons training and we're gonna teach you hand to hand and we're gonna teach you all that cool shit you see in the movies. But be absolutely clear, if you use anything that we're gonna be teaching you here on out, it means you've already screwed up 100 times. And basically whether or not you walk out of the situation is luck. And at this point, we're just trying to push the scales of luck a little further on your side. Where it's like literally when you get to the point of thinking that you need to pull a weapon, when you get to the point of thinking, how am I gonna take this person down? You've already screwed up 100 times before then to get to that point. And so that's one of the things trying to explain, like with these videos and going home, Macy, oh, look at Eli whining, crying, bitching, moaning, no, Southeast Asia isn't perfect. But one of the things I'm trying to get across is you have the right to go home. Right? You know, we paid a little bit in order to rejigger our tickets. We paid a little bit of a fee, a few $100 fee in order to reschedule our tickets, and that's it. That's it. I mean, how many people will be sick? How many people will be miserable? How many people will be like, I just want to go home and be with my mama? And instead, they would just power on because I can't fail. And then what happens if you get sick or things get worse? All that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I do have to say, like I say, my feet are looking good. I do have to say, other than making Lewis jealous, I do have to say my feet are looking good. But I am a little worried about my feet. I mean, like I say, you look at cellulitis. Cellulitis is just not a pretty disease. Cellulitis sounds like one of those really cute diseases. Like, oh, you got cellulitis. And then you do a Google search on cellulitis. Right? So I would like to be home in a first world country, just in case it comes back again. Probably won't. Seems like it's pretty good. Oh, my wife wants a key. Oops, where the hell's the key? Ever have that time in your life when your wife comes up and says, hey, where's the key? And you're like, it's right. Oh, no, it's not there, is it? Uh-oh, she's gonna try to be cute. She's like, I want to put my feet beside your feet. Isn't that so nice? Look, aww, isn't that loving feet? Do you really want to be by that foot? She's gonna go home and leak that foot. She's like, look, I did that. It was all cute and nice on the video, and now I'm going to like scrub it with bleach. She still says I smell weird. She's like, you smell weird. I do. She's like, well, you do.
Internal smell. Your outside smells.
It's an internal smell. Well, that makes you feel better. My mouth. That's what I love about women. They can say these things to guys with a complete straight face, but I swear if you ever said that to a woman, she would lose her shit. It's like if I said, it's not your outside smell, it's your internal smell. That would just not go well.
I think it's just the dare.
Can you imagine, anybody out there married, can you imagine looking your wife in the face and going, it's not your external smell, it's your internal smell. Yeah. My wife is just like, yeah, she knows it's true. But anyways, what we're gonna talk about today, we're gonna talk about purple cows. Purple cows! You're like, what, Eli? Are you telling me there are purple cows in Cambodia? And in fact, I will tell you, there are purple cows in Cambodia. But not the same kind of purple cows that you're thinking about. So this comes up. I've been thinking about the purple cows in Cambodia because we're here in Siam Reap and we've been here for a bit now, right? We've been here, I don't know, at least a week. Like I said, we're right around a week or something. And we're going to be here for a bit longer. And my wife and I have talked about that we would be willing to be here for like even a week longer than this. The only reason we're not going to be here for a week longer than this is just because oh, you don't want to burn out. My wife has this saying, you always want to leave while it's still fun. And so, you know, after we've been here like 9 days or so, Cambodia and Siam Reap is still fun. And so if we ever come back, we'll be happy to come back. But we won't burn ourselves out. But it's really cool being like around this whole Siam Reap area is that there really are so many different types of ruins and different types of temples to look at and different types of things to see that you really can spend a week or two here very easily. And this is an important concept, especially when you come to things like business and what you're doing in life, right? So we've traveled a lot. We've traveled to a lot of places, my wife and I, and then I've traveled, obviously, backpacking and all that kind of stuff around the world. And I have to tell you, there are very few places in the world, overall, that if you're visiting, that if you've been there for a week, that you don't feel it's over and you don't feel it's done. And the reason is because most places in the world, whenever they build something amazing, right? Then essentially what they do is they replicate that thing in an infinite amount of times. Like if you go to Thailand, I'm not trying to be snarky on Thailand, just explain how Thailand is. Like if you go to Thailand, right? Thailand has a way of constructing temples. And the first time you see the way that they construct a temple, it's like amazing. You're like, oh my golly, that is an amazing temple right there. That is gorgeous and that is beautiful. And obviously you folks have seen all the videos. Well, the issue is basically they build all of their temples essentially the same way. And not only do they build their temples essentially the same way, they have been building their temples essentially the same way for like 1,000 years. So if you go to Ayutthaya, it looks like a destroyed version of what you would see in downtown Bangkok. If you go to Sukhothai, it basically looks like a destroyed version of all the temples that you're going to see all around Thailand. So all the temples in Thailand are more or less very similar. There are different ones. Phnom Rong is different. There are different ones out there. But again, an entire freaking country, there are some different ones out there. But overall, by and large, most of the temples look the same. And so one of the issues that you get to as a tourist, if you're going around and you like historical things and you like walking around, is that when you see temples and they all look essentially the same, you get burned out on seeing the exact same type of temple. So this is normal, like with cathedrals, right? So like when I was backpacking through Europe, the first time I saw a cathedral, I was like, wow! And the second time I saw a cathedral, I was like, woo! And the third time I saw a cathedral, I was like, huh, I wonder if there's Starbucks around here. And the fourth time I saw a cathedral, I was like, oh, okay. See, the cathedral is there, so that means the cool thing must be over that way, right? Because you've already seen it. And so that's the idea of the purple cow. Like when we talk about the purple cow, this was brought up in a book called Purple Cow by a guy, Seth Godin. Or Godin? I always screw it up. Seth, S-E-T-H-G-O-D-I-N. O-O-D-I-N. Again, I'm not good with names. Don't get me started with names. I know the concept. Seth, Godin, whatever. There's this book called Purple Cow. And basically what he was talking about with Purple Cow is that in the modern world, what he was trying to explain is kind of like a modern version of Zig Ziglar's "you're selling the sizzle, not the steak," right? So there's this idea with people in business that they're selling the steak. And you're not really selling a steak, you're selling a sizzle. And you're like, well, what do you mean by you're selling a sizzle? Well, a sizzle means, like, is it a flame broiled steak? Is it a steak that was cut off the ass end of a cow only an hour ago? Do the people that give you the steak present, are they all in fancy clothes and present it to you? Was it like the place I went to in Florida? You wouldn't think of Florida as like a great steak place, but this was awesome. It was huge. It was like the Walmart of steaks. But you go in there and you sit down, and then they literally bring like a cart of steaks up, and you can pick any one of the steaks. Good fucking steaks. But that's the question. Are you really buying the steak, or are you buying all the ambience and all the things around it? So back in the 80s, Zig Ziglar came up with this thing, you're selling the sizzle, not the steak. And so it was a good point. So a lot of people started selling sizzle, right? So this person sells sizzle, and that person sells sizzle, and the other person sells sizzle. Well, here's the issue then. In the modern world, if everybody's selling sizzle, then how do you differentiate yourself? Because again, it's all about competition. If everybody's selling the exact same thing, it gets boring. Not only is it hard to compete with because everybody's selling the same thing, but if everybody's selling the same thing and people get bored with it, then they don't want to buy it. Right? Again, as my wife would say, as a vegan, you don't have to buy steak. Right? You buy steak because of the ambiance, right? You have this feeling about what steak is. So for whatever reason you lose that feeling of whatever steak is, then I don't know, maybe you'll just go and buy tofu. Right? So that's the problem. So everybody starts selling all the sizzle, basically selling the exact same thing. And then the question is how do you differentiate yourself? And so what Seth Godin was trying to do is with this whole idea of purple cow is kind of bring the whole sizzle. You're selling the sizzle, not the steak, into the new millennium. This is actually a pretty old book now, like 2000 something or other. It's so weird to say that, but anyways, 2000, somewhere in the 2000s. And so what his idea is that now not just are you selling the sizzle, not the steak, but you have to sell your differentiation of why what you're doing is different than what everybody else does. And the big point that he makes, and that I would argue, I would agree with in the argument, is that basically almost everything now is a lifestyle company. It is all about, what do you believe in? It's not about ice cream anymore. Ice cream? Oh, you just must be a peasant if all you're doing is buying ice cream. I'm buying Ben & Jerry's vegan triple crunch love because I'm gonna buy into a company that only does business fairly and is willing to create ice treats that are earth friendly too, right? So the idea is, in the modern world, you're not actually even buying the product anymore. You're not buying ice cream, you're buying Ben & Jerry's vegan slush or whatever the hell it is. You're not buying shoes, you're buying, what are the ones? Zach's or whatever. You buy one and then they give one away to some poor kid in Africa. Right? You're not buying shoes, you're buying footwear for the world. You go out and you buy coffee or whatever, you're not buying it. And so the idea is, with so many products being out there and it being so easy to deliver products at this point, again, food is simple. Food anymore is easy. Clothing is easy. And you're, oh, clothing isn't easy. Clothing is so fucking easy at this point. Is it Kenya or Uganda? There is actually a country in Africa that literally wants to ban foreign donations of clothing because they feel that it has destroyed the local textile market. Like, you're, oh, things aren't that easy. No, like literally, this country literally wants to ban imported clothes because there are so many clothes being donated from the Western world that they're being overrun with it, and nobody's like creating their own fashion in the country anymore. Like, that's how much clothing there is. And so again, with like clothing and like with food and with all that kind of stuff, I mean, again, I don't like Folgers, right, or Nescafe or any of that crap. I like Starbucks, refined third space or whatever. The thing is, if all you want's a cup of coffee costs like 2 cents anymore. Like literally, if all you're buying is coffee is almost free. Like, I went to like Walmart, like when we were traveling cross country, and I would get those like 3-pound things of Folgers for like $6, right? And so that's the thing. So much of this stuff is so inexpensive now that in order to differentiate yourself, in order to have that value add, you have to do something that's not the product itself. Again, you're no longer buying coffee, you're buying free trade commerce in the form of a caffeinated cup of brown liquid. And so he was talking about this, and so one of the things he was talking about is how to differentiate yourself. He was talking about the idea of the purple cow. And so his family was driving through like the hills of France, I believe it is. They were on a French vacation. They're driving through the hills of France, and then his little boy looked outside, and there was a cow. It's the first cow like the boy had seen, at least on this trip. Cow! 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 Right? You know, whenever a kid sees a cow for the first time, cow, 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 cow. He said for like 10 minutes, cow, 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 cow. And then a little bit after that, cow, cow. And then within like half an hour or so, the kid had become bored of a cow.
Like, even though, like, initially, a cow was the most exciting thing in the world, within like 30 minutes or whatever, cows had become utterly normal. And so the point that he then made is like, well, then if this kid had seen a purple cow, a cow not like the others, a purple cow, then the purple cow would have been amazing. Purple cow, purple cow, purple cow, purple cow. Until there have been too many purple cows. And then maybe if there had been a strawberry cow. Strawberry cow, strawberry cow, strawberry cow. Again, you actually see it here. Like when we talk about cows, it's kind of like, like when we first got here and we saw dogs. I was like, oh, look at all these dogs. And oh, cute, all these dogs. Dogs were cool. And then we saw a lot of dogs. And then we started seeing monkeys. Monkeys! We started seeing monkeys. Monkeys. We're like, monkeys! And then we spent a few days seeing monkeys. We're like, monkeys. And then we saw chickens. We saw these little chicks today. I did some videos of these little chicks. And they're all like running around eating the hearts out of coconuts or whatever. I was like, look at the chickens, right? So that's the thing. It's like the first time you see anything, it's like, wow, it's wonderful and it's amazing and exciting. You want that. You want that. But then if you start to see too many of those, the exact same thing, then you stop wanting it, and then you kind of move on. Why this is important, why this is interesting in a place like Siam Reap, is Siam Reap is very curious as far as their ruins are concerned. And I think they've actually done a very good job with how they're dealing with their ruins, because almost all the ruins that we have seen so far, we've seen a lot of ruins so far, they are different. There's a purple ruin and a strawberry ruin and a grape ruin and a Neapolitan ruin and a Heath Bar Crunch ruin. I'll let you decide what the Heath Bar Crunch ruin is, but they're all different and they're all amazing in their own ways, even although essentially at their core, they're just ruins, right? So if you go and you see Angkor Wat is like mind-blowing, right? It is huge. It is just a beast. It is mammoth, right? It makes a lot of castles look small. I mean, you go in there and there's just this huge wall around the entire complex, and then you walk through a forest to actually get to where the main temple is, and then you walk through the temple, and the temple is huge and tall and big, and you get up to the top, and you can look out on all this stuff, and then you go down, and then you go through the one wall, and then you go over this like bridge-like thing to get over the moat. And when they have a moat, their moat looks like the damn Mississippi. And so when you go to Angkor Wat, the big thing about Angkor Wat is it's so well preserved and it's just so mind-bogglingly huge. Wow, that's a purple temple. Well then we have our nice little tuk-tuk driver here. For $15 a day, you can buy a tuk-tuk driver here, which is very good for my budget, and I'm very sad for how much money they make in a day. Like literally, $15 a day, you get a tuk-tuk driver. That includes gas and everything. They are yours, right? But anyways, so then we go over, and I think it's Angkor Thom or whatever. Again, don't quote me on names. But that's then the temple that they've left in a lot of the natural state. So a lot of the temples they've tried to clean up and make look better, and so one of the ways you have to do that is cut all the trees that are growing out of the temple. So I think it was Angkor Thom is the one where they've left the trees growing on the walls and all that kind of stuff. So you go into that temple and you see these just ancient trees and the root system literally like engulfing the walls and all that kind of stuff. It looks like prehistoric. It looks absolutely amazing. You're like, wow. So that's like the strawberry temple. And so then the next day we saw that, and again, 100 some odd degree heat. These places are big, right? About five hours, and you're like, I want to go home to air conditioning, right? So then we go back the next day, and then the next day, that's when our tuk-tuk driver took us to Bayon. Anyways, that's the temple, the faces. So you go to that temple, and you guys will see the videos of it. But there's just these massive faces like everywhere. They're just huge. They're like these 4-foot faces, like carved into everything, like creepy as fuck. Looks like something out of a freaking nightmare, right? And you go there and you're like, wow. And that's like the butter Brickle temple, right? Because that's completely different than the other temples we've seen. Then you go over to the Wall of Elephants, other video you'll see, and there's just this huge long wall that has all this carving and inscription. And when I say long, I'm not talking about 100 feet or 200 feet. I'm talking like, I don't know, damn near a kilometer long. I mean, long, right? And you just walk by all this stuff carved into it. And that's, you know, again, that's a Neapolitan temple. And then you walk up, and that takes you into the temple complex itself, and you walk up the temple, which is kind of a lot the same like the other temples, but then you walk out the back, and then you get to walk through like the woods, and there are temples that you can't go into in the woods, but you can kind of see them again, kind of in that natural state. So that's like a different type of temple to see. And then we had the day down, and then today we went to see temples. And so one of the temples that we went to see today was like a poorly reconstructed temple. So this was a temple that had been entirely torn down, and now they're trying to piece it together. And you look at it and you're like, wow, they're piecing it together. Because it's like you look at these temples and you're like, huh, it seems like it should be about as easy as Legos. And then you look at a temple that they're piecing back together and you're like, oh, thank God I'm not doing it. Thank God I'm the person that can sit back and go, that looks like it should be easy. Because when you're looking at the finished results, you're like, yeah, okay, maybe that's not as easy as I thought, right? And then there was that temple, and then there was another temple that was all like at ground level, but it was like this huge labyrinth. Like it was so it was so complicated. My wife and I literally got lost in the temple itself. Like we got completely fucking lost in the temple. It was so like convoluted and complicated. And that was one. And then the final we went to today. Was like an entirely different style, and it was like really tall with these spires, and it had like better sculptures, like it had elephant sculptures, but they were full 3D sculptures, right? And that's, you know, I don't know, fudge ice cream. But the interesting thing, like going and seeing these temples here, and why looking at the temples here in Siem Reap is different than going to like any other place, is because they are all different, and they're all amazing, and they're all interesting in their own right. And so again, this is where you need to be thinking about in life. Like, are you taking away the right lesson when you see something? So especially like with these third world countries. Now you may hear me talk about Siem Reap, and you hear me talk about, okay, they have decent coffee. It's only decent, slightly better than Nescafe here, but hey, better than Nescafe. I'll take it. You're like, okay, well they got temples. So what we need to do is we just need to renovate temples. But it's like, yeah, no, but it's not just temples. Again, Thailand has temples, India has temples, lots of places have temples. You get bored really quickly. What makes Siem Reap so interesting, and why it's someplace like my wife and I would stay here, well, we are staying here over a week, and we would stay here easily too, is because there's all of these different things. There's all of these different, along the same lines, but done in very interesting, different ways. And that's what makes it cool, and that's what makes it exciting. So that's one of those things that you should be thinking about, again, in your business and in everything that you're doing, is how can you be that purple, whoops, what is that? I must have hit something. I hit something. What did I hit, actually? Is it that? Oh, it's that. Sorry. No, it's good to know it's there. I can actually do that with my hand then. I can do that with my thumb. I don't know why I want to do that with my thumb, but I can do that with my thumb. Anyways, you do that? Nope, not right, wrong way. And so that's one thing to be thinking about with your business is how can you make it that purple cow? How can you make it something that is interesting and is different, so that it will call attention to what you're doing? It's kind of like that whole thing with the cats who poop out coffee beans. Right? The civets or whatever. Is that coffee really any more caffeinated than any other coffee? Does it really taste any better? Well, it tastes better than Nescafe, but does it really taste better than a normal coffee? Probably not. But what you have is you have the story. This coffee was crapped out the ass of a cat. That's why it's worth $10 a cup. And so that's something to be thinking about. It's like I say, is what is your way to make your business the purple cow? Something interesting, something remarkable, something that people want to go to because they're interested in it for whatever reason. Like if you're going to be doing a cafe, you know, back in the days, there were cafes that would do things like poetry readings and all that kind of stuff. So yes, they sold coffee, but in order to sell more coffee, they would do things like poetry readings, so people would show up. You know, something to think about that. Like when I had my computer repair business, one of the interesting things was I actually had like this one couple come in, and they looked at my business and my store, and they said, wow, this looks like it should be something out of like New York or Los Angeles.
And I was like, oh, that's nice. And the reason is because I had colored paint on the walls. Like our walls were orange paint. We had nice pictures on the walls. Basically, I had set it up with like hardwood furniture and everything. So when you walked in, it didn't look like most computer repair shops with everything screwed together with 2x4s. You walked in and you saw somebody that cared about how things looked. You're like, wow, that's nice, right? So that's just something to be thinking about. Like I say, when you're trying to do your business, when you're trying to differentiate yourself, what is it that you can do to set yourself apart? This becomes very important, I would argue, in life in general, though, especially as you try to go out there and get a job, or get a wife, or girlfriend, or boyfriend, or any of that too, is one of the things that you should be asking yourself is, how can you be a purple cow? How can you be a purple cow? Because one of the problems you see nowadays is, and I'm not gonna say it's nowadays, I don't want to be like all beating up on millennials. Again, it's fun to smack millennials, but you just shouldn't do it on YouTube. Just don't do it on YouTube. And if the words out of your mouth are, I'm not gonna get sued for this, right? Just stop. Just stop right there. Just, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It was funny with that guy though. Some people were saying, oh, Eli, you're kind of being mean with him. Was it Rich Piano? Really wasn't that bad. The smacks weren't that bad. But literally, I did a search today just on something else. And literally, like one of the news organizations out of Australia ran like a news article that basically said, like, Rich Piano bodybuilder abuses autistic kid. You're like, damn. It's like, Rich, is that really smart? I mean, like, you just know. Somebody who is obviously that, you just don't smack. You don't smack anybody. You don't get into a smack. Yeah, but anyways. But one of the questions you have to ask yourself is, like, how can you be that purple cow? How can you be interesting? Because why this is important is, so a lot of you folks out there are like, well, you talk about business, and you talk about being a consultant, you talk about being a YouTube content creator. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. That's not me. That's not me. Not everybody can be a YouTube content creator, Eli. Like, okay, fine. I'm sorry. But why this is important, though, is remember, when you're going to go and you're going to interview for a job, if it's a normal job, that's a decent job, and the skill set isn't too, like, insane, you have to realize you're going to be going in there and you're going to be competing against, like, 50 other folk. You may not realize you're competing against 50 other folk because, like, 40 resumes are just going to go in the trash can, and 10 are going to be selected. But here's the thing, right? So you go in there for the interview. And the boss is going to ask you about, like, what you're interested in and what you do, right? And if you just sit there and you look like a bump on a log, you're like, well, I play some video games, eat some pizza, drink some beer, right? That boss is going to have to look at you. And remember, when you're an employee, you're a bit like furniture. I think you really are, right? You're a bit like furniture. You are there at the will, at least in the United States, you're there at the will of the boss, and the boss wants to deal with you. So if you walk in there and you just seem just like a miserable bump, right? Even if you got the qualifications, the boss has to think, do I really want to deal with this person day in, day out for the next 2 years? This person is going to be working in my office for 40 hours a week. I'm going to be dealing with them for 40 hours a week. And I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with them worth a damn. Basically, I'm going to be able to look this person in the eye and say, hey, how's the weather? And that's going to be where the conversation ends. Is that going to be fun? Is that going to be interesting? It's going to kind of suck, right? And I've got 10 other people I'm going to interview. Because again, you got 50 people sending resumes. You have the qualifications that they actually care about, so you get interviewed, but again, there's 9 other people being interviewed. And so somebody else walks in, they don't have quite the same qualifications that you do, but they have a personality. So what do you do? Oh, I'm an avid LARPer. What the hell is LARPing? Oh, it's a live action role-playing game. What? No, look. No, we put on full plate mail armor, and they go out with rattan weapons. We do a society to create an anachronism, and we beat the crap out of each other. It's like, wow. You're not gonna get hurt, right? You're gonna come in every day, right? Yeah. But you're telling me for fun, you put on plate mail armor, and you beat the snot out of each other with rattan. Yep.
Rattan. You mean basically big old sticks, right? No, there ain't sticks. They're like big old, kind of sort of like pieces of grass. But yeah, more or less, they're big old sticks, and we just wail on each other. Damn, man, I gotta see that. And then what does the boss do? They go, it's like, hey, they're having a beer. You'll never believe this guy I'm hiring. Oh, what? Does he go with computers, go with service? Yeah, fine. Yeah, he's certified at service. No, this son of a bitch. Every weekend, he goes out and he beats the crap out of people with rattan? Really? Can he do that without getting sued? Yeah, apparently they all sign like a piece of paper or anything. That's kind of cool. Hey, can he tell me how to do that? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do it too, right? Again, how can you be a purple cow as an employee? Again, going out there and beating each other up with rattan weapons, or being an artist, or being a musician, or anything. What the hell is your backstory? Again, one of the reasons that I feel I was successful as a technology professional is because I could keep the conversation off of technology. Right? Again, whenever you talk about technology in the real world, people get scared quick, right? Technology rules their lives, and yet they're too scared to even figure out what it is. Right? They could fix their own problems most of the time. They're just too petrified to do it. What if I type in a search query wrong? My entire credit history will disappear. That's not how Google works. that's just not. Your Google doesn't have anything to do with credit history. I don't what? But again, they're so scared. And so the thing is the more you talk and the more you focus on technology, the more scared they're going to be, the more they're going to clam up. You are the person who represents technology. So if they're scared of technology, they're going to start resenting you, and it all goes downhill quick. Whereas again, if you can walk in, you can start talking about other things. Hey, how was Asia? Hey, how was Europe? Hey, did you see that play? Hey, did you see the movie? Hey, somebody like you, what do you think about Captain America, right? You can talk about these different things, have nothing to do with technology. And then you just glance along technology, you sit there and you talk about, oh yeah, I went to the Broadway show. Man, Book of Mormon. If you haven't seen Book of Mormon, you really got to see Book of Mormon. Book of Mormon is really, really awesome. Yeah, we just saw that this weekend. Really? Yeah, oh, great. So what do you need anyway? Oh man, my email ain't working right. Yeah, fuck email. I hate this fucking email. Outlook sucks. Yeah, I know Outlook sucks. Here, let me, right, and you fix it, right? And again, you have that backstory. You have that purple cow thing going on. You're actually interesting. You're not like the other slobs, right? Because again, you look at the other drones. It's so funny. I have so many people, they get so pissed at me because I call so many folks drones. They're like, how dare you call people drones and cogs? It's like, well, look in the mirror. Tell me you're not a drone or a cog. That's not nice. It's like, well, that's not an answer. I suppose it is an answer, but that's a pretty lame answer, right? But that's the thing. So go out there, learn new things. That is the idea. That is the idea of the purple cow. How can you be interesting? What is your backstory? What is your lifestyle? Because again, one thing you have to be thinking about, especially in modern business, and this is where you have to be careful. So again, like business concepts continually evolve from the old things. So in the 80s, right? So for a long time, all business was simply trying to figure out how to provide products at a reasonable price. Oh my golly, you mean that's all business was? That's such a naive time, so quaint in Pleasantville. But there was, for a long time, all business was simply how do you actually provide any kind of quality product at a reasonable price that people can afford. Right. Then you get to the 80s, and with mass production and globalization and all that kind of stuff, the cost of items just starts plummeting, right? And so the problem is as the cost starts plummeting, the problem then becomes is how can you add enough value to a product so that you can get a reasonable profit? Right? Again, it's not about selling products. If you sell 1 million products and you only make $1, you still suck. You got to have enough value add. And so basically the idea with value add then is, okay, so you start selling the sizzle instead of simply the steak. So before it was just selling the steak. How do you sell a steak? Then you start selling the sizzle on the steak. And then we go forward. And then, like I say, it goes to this whole idea of like purple cow. And if you notice that, it's this whole idea of you're selling a lifestyle. Again, REI. REI, it's not simply about clothes. It's about the REI lifestyle. It's not about Under Armour. It's about the Under Armour lifestyle. It's not about Lululemon. It's about the Lululemon lifestyle, right?
Well, as you start going along with that, the next thing is, you hear this a lot in the technology world, and you're going to start seeing it more and more and more in the rest of the world, is you start to get into this whole idea of company culture. Does your personality fit the company culture? Yeah, what is it? Well, if you go to something simple, again, we'll keep it like with retail stores, because you folks know that. But here's the thing, like, so if you're going to hire somebody as a Lululemon salesperson, right? And you have two fine, upstanding people, right? They show up to work on time, they're high school graduates, everything is the same. Now, one person is a yoga instructor, part-time, and the other person has never done yoga, and it's for Lululemon. So Lululemon does his yoga clothes. So who are you going to hire? You're going to hire the person that fits the culture of the business. If you go over to Under Armour, right? Under Armour, maybe you have a yoga, and again, you have the same thing. You have a yoga instructor, but then you have a varsity football player. Well, it's Under Armour. Oh, protect this house, right? Again, it's not necessarily just the qualifications. It's not, did you graduate high school? What's your GPA? It's, do you fit into that company culture? And so what a lot of you folks are going to be running into, the huge problem that you're going to run into, is that you're lame. You're fucking lame. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're lame, right? You're not going to fit into any culture because you're lame. And so that's one thing that you have to start thinking about, is how can you not be lame? How can you be that purple cow? How can you have, again, like I say, with the temples, a temple is basically a temple, right? That's a temple, and that's a temple, and that's a temple. No, that's a temple with big-ass creepy faces. And that's a temple with all kinds of weird trees growing out of it. And that's a temple that's just mammoth and like mind-blowing, right? So something to think about is like, how can you differentiate yourself along those lines? So that when people look at you, go, wow, right? And you're not going to be for everybody. Again, like I say, even Siam Reap. Siam Reap is not for everybody. Pattaya is for some people. Pattaya is all, partying your asses off and that kind of thing. And that's for some people. And temples are for some people. And other things for some people, right? It's not about trying, so much of what you're taught in school that is crap, because you're being taught by unionized teachers. It is basically about being formulaic, is about creating cogs. And the idea with cogs is that cogs can go anywhere. Again, the whole idea of factory workers. If I can teach you enough to be a factory worker, then that means you could work for Honda, or you could work for Maytag, or you could work for Ford, or you could work for Sony, because you're just a cog in the machine. The idea is to make you so cogified, so the same, that you can just get plopped in anywhere. Again, you're being taught this because modern educators are just full of crap, right? And so what you really need to be thinking about is how you can differentiate yourself so that for some jobs you're absolutely perfect, you're absolutely amazing, you fit the culture to a T, whereas other jobs, there's no way in hell you would get hired, right? And if you do that, that's how you actually get to be very valuable, is what I would argue. Again, like I say, like with me, how am I a purple cow? How am I a purple cow? I'm like a purple spotted cow with wings sprouting out of its head or something. But anyways, like one of the reasons, it's kind of storm tonight. Look at that. I don't know. Any bets on how bad the storm will be, or if it'll storm? It always looks like it's gonna storm, and then it just doesn't. But it does look like it's gonna storm tonight. But like, how I'm a purple cow, and I piss a lot of people off. I still don't understand why I piss people off. It's like, look, I give you all of this free content, and all I ask is for you to watch a 15-second commercial. How am I the bad guy here? But anyways, I piss a lot of people off. But one of the reasons why I piss people off is because I do long-form content. I do hour-long content. Again, like I said, I'm looking up here, and I can see it's 48 minutes. I've been talking for 48 minutes. And I'm gonna be a little sad because I don't know if I can get to the hour mark today. But again, mentally, my goal is always to hit that hour mark. I want to do an hour of blathering at you every day. Now that pisses a lot of people off. Like shockingly, like when I say it pisses people off, I'm not just saying they dislike it. I'm saying they get pissed
Don't you know the Vlogbrothers have set down the rules? Don't you know the Vlogbrother Act of 2007 states that no video should be longer than 4 minutes? How dare you defile their rules by creating hour-long videos, right? So I piss a lot of people off doing long videos. On the other hand, I make a lot of people happy. I make a lot of people happy. A lot of people like me who don't want to have to find a new video every damn 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are like me, where they have work to do. And so they like to put on a YouTube video, and they like to put it on this screen, or they like to put it on the background, and then they like to go and do their work. And they can't do that if you've got to swap through videos every 4 minutes. So I think about it like, what kind of video do I like? I like videos that are really long. They just, people keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. So what do? I create really long videos. And I have created really long videos from the get-go, from the beginning. Again, one of the reasons I created my own infrastructure way back when was because YouTube didn't allow long videos. And I said, I'm not gonna do long, like literally, I was so dedicated to the idea of long videos, I built my own damn infrastructure. It was like, YouTube doesn't allow me to do long videos, I'll build my own infrastructure. And I had my own 2 servers. I had 2 Xeon servers. One of them was the web server, and the other one was the Flash Media server. I actually built my own damn Flash Media server. Paid the licenses and all that. Threw that into my own co-location facility, built out all the stuff in order to make it work. And I did that because, damn it, I wanted long videos. I believe in long videos, right? And so, if you look at it, a lot of people are pissed, a lot of people are angry. How dare you? I would watch your videos. I would watch your videos. They weren't so long, Eli. Eli, what you need to do is you need to make them all 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then I would watch your video. I don't know how to make a 5-minute video. But here's the thing, I piss off a lot of people. A lot of people hate it. On the other hand, a lot of people like it. A lot of people like it. And not only do a lot of people like it, but YouTube likes it. And when YouTube likes something, they reward you by CPM. And I have very good CPMs. Even this fucking channel, even this goofy ass channel has really nice CPMs. And you know why it has really nice CPMs? Because you guys, like right now, are at, like the average is 11 minutes per view. And that's where it averages out. You know, like some days, like you folks are literally at like 16 minutes average view time per video. And so that's the thing, right? I could be like everybody else. I could try to be a duplicate of the Vlogbrothers. I could try to be a duplicate of Zay Frank. Though you can never be a duplicate of perfection. That boy, he's perfect. When he got hired by like BuzzFeed or whatever, it should be like considered the saddest day on YouTube. If you haven't watched Zay Frank, go watch Zay Frank. But you know, I could have tried to duplicate all that. And you know what? Most likely I would have sucked. Most likely it would have been really bad. Because honestly, if you try to put me into a 5-minute block, I don't think it would work out well. I don't think I'm good jump cut. I don't think that works for me. So basically, if I try to do what everybody else does, I would have been following a format that probably wouldn't work for me very well. I don't think I'm a very good jump cutter. And 2, I would be competing against everybody in the world because they all do those stupid ass 4-minute videos. And therefore I could have like very low views and very low CPM and would still be stuck in the server room. On the other hand, like I say, doing the purple cow, it's like, no, from the get-go, I decided long form content is the way to go. And again, for whatever reason, not many people do this. Again, even like I say, like these Let's Live videos, when you really think about what I do, either for Eli the Computer Guy or for Fail Normal, think about it. I don't really have competition in either of these genres, right? Again, if you go over and you look at the tech videos, you have a lot of people doing like 5- and 6-minute videos, kind of piecemeal stuff, kind of Khan Academy stuff. But you don't have anybody doing like 30 or 90-minute videos actually trying to talk to the student as if the student's a real human being that's expected to learn this stuff, right? No. And as far as, like I say, as Fail Normal goes, again, this whole Let's Live concept, I don't see anybody else doing that. Again, I mean, how many people can actually like blather into a camera for an hour at a shot? Hour to an hour and a half. Do you think about that? Do you realize I do like no editing on these videos whatsoever? And yet they turn out pretty good, right? But again, if you look, where is my competition at all? So I could be there with everybody else trying to compete in the exact same space and not getting anywhere. Or I can basically be creating the same type of thing, but doing it with the idea of being a purple cow, and coming and actually being successful. Right? And again, like I say, if you look at YouTube videos, this is how I'm being a purple cow in YouTube videos. There are literally at this point tens of thousands of hardcore content creators. Again, whether they're technically professional or whether they just do a lot of it and don't get paid. Well, again, hey, don't be snarky, right? They work hard. But there's a crap ton of hardcore content creators out there that are all kind of sort of barely getting by. Because again, they're basically doing what everybody else does. I get on here, and essentially I'm using a camera, right? Everybody uses a camera, and I have a microphone. I have a good microphone now. It's so cool. Like, people are now asking me what setup I use. For so many years, the only question I was asked was, why don't you improve your setup? And now people are asking me, hey, that's a good setup. What setup are you using, right? So I got a microphone. So I got a microphone, I got a camera. I'm talking into it, and I edit it with Final Cut Pro. So essentially, I'm using the same equipment everybody else in the world is using, more or less on a large scale, and you know, just painting with a wide brush. I'm doing basically what everybody else is doing. But because I have found my own weird little niche, my own little way of doing a purple cow, that is why I'm relatively successful doing it. And again, as I would say, making more money than people with far more subscribers than me, right? And that's something just for you folks to be thinking about when you go out there, is how are you going to make your thing different? If you're looking at, again, if look at something as vanilla, think about it, something as absolutely and utterly like vanilla as commodity as a YouTube video, right? YouTube videos at this point are like one of the biggest commodity items to ever be created. Again, it costs nothing to upload this content. It is very inexpensive to create, unless you decide to go out there and buy expensive cameras. Again, and yet so few people are actually going out there and pushing the limits and actually being creative, right? Again, like with Santoro, MS, Matthew Santoro, is that the name? Again, I'm not trying to be snarky, I just forget people's names. But this is the guy, he kind of looks like me, he's a little more bald, he's got the beard going on, and he does like the top 10 lists, right? So he does top 10 lists of all kinds of weird stuff. And the funny part was, like, he did a video, so PewDiePie did a video about all the stuff on, all the drama on YouTube, whatever. And then Markiplier did a video on how YouTube is changing. And then Matthew, whatever, Santoro, whatever, came on and did a video again, how YouTube is changing. And then one of the things that he said, one of the dumbass things that came out of this boy's mouth was how people weren't being creative anymore. That somehow, like, drama content wasn't being creative. And again, if you want to smack drama content, fine, that's your business. Again, I support drama. Drama Alert, I am the proud subscriber of Drama Alert. But hey, if you want to smack Drama Alert or drama, that's your business. But the idea of somebody who does top 10 countdown lists, like literally, that's the content this person does, and he's complaining that people aren't being creative enough. You're like, what the hell's wrong with you, right? But he thinks that's creative. He's like, look at how creative I am. And then it's a bit ironic because, like, a few days later, Grade A Under A came out with a video showing how he, like, plagiarizes all his content. So again, this is a person that essentially is reported to plagiarize a huge amount of his content in order to create top 10 countdown lists. And this person thinks that he's being creative. Just like, oh, right. But again, but the thing to think about there is you have tens of thousands of creators on this platform. Anybody can upload almost anything, and yet they're all uploading almost the identical same crap. How many people have done reaction videos of the freaking Ghostbuster trailer? Not even the movie, the trailer. And you're just like, why? I would not waste my brain power on that. You know, it'd be one thing if it was like Angry Joe. Like, Angry Joe's kind of cool, because he's like angry. You're like, okay, if Angry Joe does it, okay. But like everybody was doing like, you know, reaction videos to like trailers. You're like, really? Really? How are you going to be the purple cow? How are you going to do what everybody isn't doing? Again, because that's one of the things like a lot of people say, like when I did this whole video talking about why I didn't support Where's the Fair Use. Because again, I think Where's the Fair Use is a whole bunch of crap. I honestly don't believe most content creators could handle real fair use. Fair, I do not believe that word means what you think it means. Right, but one of the things I said there was that basically more people need to be creative on YouTube, and you can't believe how much of a backlash I got about that. How dare you say that? I can't believe that you would say that. It's so hard to be creative, and everything is a duplication of what somebody else did. And you're sitting there, and you're like, really, really? I am getting this much pushback simply from, hey, maybe you folks should create your own stuff. Again, I am not worried in the least. Well, I'm kind of, sort of worried a little bit. But again, like if I get hit for copyright infringement, it really is, you know, fair use gone stupid, right? Well, no, because I do have to worry about it a little bit. So like I'm doing this content and I'm doing it in the real world. So theoretically, if a restaurant here in the Southeast Asia is blasting a song, theoretically I could get hit with a copyright. I would win, but it could still get hit and it could still get bloody, right? But again, I mean, this is all totally creative. Who the hell else is doing Let's Live videos for an hour at a shot? But yet everybody is like, oh, can't be creative. How dare, I can't believe that you would say be creative. Everybody has to do a reaction video on the Ghostbusters movie. Don't you know that? That's the only way to be successful. That's the worst part too. Everybody's saying that too. Like the only way to be successful is to do like what other people are doing. And you're like, really? Really? Can that many people make very much money off of doing yet another reaction video to the Ghostbusters movie or the Star Wars movie or this movie or that movie or the other movie? Again, the only reason that I did a review of Captain America was simply because I saw it before all you folks did, apparently, and I didn't really have anything else better to say that day. So that's why I did a review of Captain America. That was not planned in any way, shape, or form. It was simply, oh look, I have to be on bed rest because my foot has cellulitis, and hey look, there's actually a pretty good movie theater down the road, so I'll go see whatever movie is playing today. Hey look, it's Captain America Civil War, I'll see that. And therefore, but I would not run a business off of this. It's not like, but anyways, do I keep screwing with that? I think I do. Oops. Anyways. So with that, I think I've been blathering enough. But that's the whole idea of purple cow. And again, when you, oh, Eli, that's, but think about it. I just would like sitting here and like bitching about YouTube. I know a lot of people think, oh, Eli, you're just bitching about YouTube. But no, I want you to really think about that. I want you to, tens of thousands of hardcore content creators. And then when you look at so much of the content that I do, there really is no competition to it. Because everybody's doing the exact same shit. And again, I'm successful doing this. I make money doing this. And again, I'm very proud of this little venture. I know it doesn't sound like much, but you know, we're up to $111 per month in ad revenue. And you're like, oh, haha. But that's with 4,000 subscribers. Again, if I had 700,000 subscribers, show me the money, right? It's about being creative. It's about going out there and figuring out new things. You're like, well, Eli, I don't have enough money to go backpack around the world. Yeah, of course you don't. Well, maybe you don't. Then go figure out what you can do. Again, be creative. That's again, everybody gets so snarky at me. Well, not everybody can do what you're doing. Of course you fucking can't. Of course, I can't do what Bear Grylls does. You know why? Because again, I'm the entire thing. Like Anthony Bourdain. I can't do what Anthony Bourdain does. But that doesn't mean I don't sit out here with a video camera and vlog, right? You know, Anthony Bourdain has a travel department. Anthony Bourdain has an actual budget. Anthony Bourdain has an editor. And Anthony Bourdain has like an assistant. Anthony Bourdain, I mean like he has a whole crew. So of course I can't do what Anthony Bourdain does, but I'm not gonna sit there and like send an email to Anthony Bourdain calling him an asshole because I can't do exactly what he does. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at my budget and be like, okay, well I don't got Anthony Bourdain's budget. What budget do I have? Ooh, I have this budget. I will use what I have. And then someday, I will have the budget of Anthony Bourdain, but no employees, because I really don't want employees. Anyways, I've now been officially talking for an hour and 3 minutes, so I feel good with that. It's kind of cool, like when I do these videos, because like, especially when I do them at night, you can actually see it get dark. You can see the lighting change. So we sit here now, and, I mean, look at that, look at that. Come on, Lewis, come on. You gotta be a little jealous now. I feel good now, I feel good now. Like I say, I was crap talking, I was really shit talking Lewis quite a bit, and then just nothing went to fucking plan. I mean, and when we say nothing went to plan, I mean like it went fucking bad. There is not going to plan, and then there's getting an IV shoved in your arm in a Thai hospital, looking at your foot going, I wonder if this is the last time I'll see you. So I'm very happy to say things have gotten back on track. I do believe I have gotten back into jealous area, right? Because I mean, come on, think about that. Beautiful thing about it. Like I say, I just get to sit here and talk into a camera and look at that. Lewis, if you are not jealous right now, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. But anyways, yeah, that's the only thing I dislike with this camera. There's few things I dislike with this camera, but one thing that I dislike with this camera is it's got this touch screen on it that is way too fucking sensitive. Way too sensitive. Because the problem is like I said, when I spin this around, one of the things I do is I actually move the screen. You can't really see it because I don't have a mirror here, but I move the screen so that I can look into it. But the problem is the touch screen is so sensitive that if I even brush the touch screen, it'll sometimes do something wonky, and it's never good. It's never good when your camcorder, your camera does something wonky while you're talking into it live. But anyways, we'll give you some little night shots here of Siem Reap. But if you get the chance to come here to Siem Reap, again, Thailand, I don't know, I'm on the fence of. If you want to drink very inexpensively, if you want to party for like a month, definitely go to Thailand. If you're like 70 years old and you want to bang 20-year-olds, as long as you like Thais, you know, that works. But overall, I say, if you really want like a cool place to be, I think Siem Reap is definitely the place. This is absolutely great. I say we've been here for quite a bit now, and we'll be here for a few days longer. And definitely, I wasn't hopeful. I was not hopeful when we got here. I thought this was just gonna be something that I was gonna check off the list. But then now that I'm here, like we could literally spend like, yeah, 2 weeks here solid very easily. I'm gonna miss this pool. This is a very nice pool, Lewis. I'm just gonna keep showing you all the things you can have when you're a professional content creator. And at some point I'm gonna break you. At some point I'm gonna win that $100. You're gonna be like, I can't deal with it anymore. I wanna get paid for swimming. I wanna get paid for getting a tan, darn it. Anyways, with that, I guess I am done being a smartass for today, and I will talk to you folks later. And we'll see how long it takes to upload this video. I did get one video uploaded, but the next video is on YouTube Therapy, actually. Well, you know that now because it's been published before this one. But yeah, at one point it said like 35,000 minutes. So we're gonna see how long that takes to upload. Hopefully that'll upload by tomorrow, but we'll see. Not because 35,000 minutes is less than 24 hours. It's just that, like, it's 600, how many minutes? There's 60 minutes, so 60, 1200, what, there's 1500 minutes in? No, it's not 1500. It's like 1440, I don't know. There's like 1500 minutes in a day. So I'm hoping the number goes down to the point so that the video will be uploaded tomorrow. That's the hope. I'm kind of getting backlogged with videos though, because I've got all these videos of Angkor Wat, and then I have all these videos of Bayan and all that, and then I have all the video stuff for today. So like right now, I'm just trying to get the vlogs up. So unfortunately, you guys can't see all the cool shit that I'm seeing. But oh well. It doesn't help for me to continue to sit here talking. I should give myself like an hour like limit. Like a limit. But who are we joking? Again, I could sit here talking for like 3 hours. The only reason I'm not sitting here talking for 3 hours is because then my wife does get a little pissy. Like, why are you talking into a camera for 3 hours? Talk to me.
I have to be careful what I say now because she watches these videos. So with that, before I say something really stupid, we're just gonna show you a final shot of the pool and call it a night. Bye bye.